What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. With this video, we're getting into something new. We're jumping into Batman Beyond Neo Year issue number 1. Coming out of the events of Batman Urban Legends issue number 7, there is a mini story in there where it tells us that Gotham comes to life. And when it does, it murders Bruce Wayne, giving Terry the opportunity to leave the city. He refuses, believing that he needs to take up the mantle of Batman, that he has to be this city's protector. Neo-Gotham will do anything it can to put a stop to it. The writers for this are Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing. The artist is Max Dunbar, and the colors are by Sebastian Chang. Be sure to buy the comics, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we jump into Terry's year 1 as Batman, right off the bat, what we get is a little bit of narration from Neo-Gotham, now becoming sentient. It was 2 months ago when it became awake. In the first 5 minutes, it killed Bruce Wayne. By midnight, it controlled its own streets, its own markets, its own people. Neo-Gotham became alive, and no one knew anything. That is, except for one person, and that, of course, is Batman. Even with the death of Bruce Wayne, Terry knows that he needs to hold up the mantle. He needs to do what needs to be done. The only issue, he has to go analog. Everything is connected in this city, and so he is working in the shadows on a very low budget, not having any resources. This is sounding very similar to what's been going on with Bruce Wayne in his current storylines. From day 1 to day 60, it was non-stop crime fighting. From preventing murders to burglaries, he is out there doing everything he can while avoiding Neo-Gotham. And right now, Terry is truly feeling like he is failing this city. The only thing he is doing is keeping the legacy of Batman alive. But in 60 days, the Vultures took everything else. After the death of Bruce Wayne, Wayne Enterprises needed a new CEO, and the one that was chosen, Donovan Loomis, a former crime lord of what's left of Bloodhaven, but the papers call him the Holographic Man. And tonight is the first of 3 galas that he is referring to as the Trinity Galas. This is product presentation for the new Wayne Powers Enterprise. With Bruce Wayne dead and a supervillain running all of these parties, throwing them in his name, Terry knows deep down that this is Gotham. This is the manipulations of a sentient city. Being able to sneak his way in, he hears this presentation, and Loomis has been working hard on innovations in hard-like holographics. This is the pitch that he gives to everybody, letting him know that he is the next innovator for this company, that he is going to be taking them to the next level. And Terry's not usually one for hating people, but for Loomis, he makes a very big exception. Getting up close and personal, he is able to plant a bug onto Loomis. Being able to eavesdrop on the conversation, what he hears are pharmaceuticals are going to be coming in. Using the now Wayne Powers Enterprise, this is how he is manipulating the system and bringing these drugs into the city. With Terry wanting to get a little bit of more information, this is where he goes to one of the greatest detectives this city has ever seen. That, of course, is Commissioner Gordon, coming to Barbara with the information that he now carries. She tells him to turn this over, but he refuses to because he's not asking for permission. He's gonna go do this on his own. Of course, Barbara knows this isn't true, or he would have said nothing about it. The truth is that Terry, he very much respects her and what she says. And what Barbara Gordon and Bruce Wayne built GCPD into, it may be a little tough, there may be some scumbags inside the precinct, but the truth is, GCPD truly has brought some law and order into this city. This is her life's work, and now she is ready to retire, telling him that she has had far too many murders, far too many cases, and she is ready to call it a day. This city is far safer than it has ever been, and she's ready to hang up the guns. With Barbara calling it a night, Terry makes his way to the port. With their super bulk transport coming in, this is how they have been transporting all of these drugs, marking all of the containers that contain pharmaceuticals. We see Batman throw some batarangs and detonate all of them. From behind Batman, we see something that we haven't seen before. An individual that is not registering at all for the rogue gallery of Batman. So Terry knows that this has to be somebody new. As the two go against one another, we see Terry really testing this guy's abilities, seeing what he is capable of. We find out that this guy is the sword to Neo-Gotham, trying to let him know that the city is not his enemy. It simply wants his compliance. That the supplies he destroyed, they would have been distributed all over. Doing this in an attempt to try to really grow the reach of the city. And while this may slow the city down, it lets Batman know that this is all inevitable. As we see a giant, tremendous blast of energy, Batman finds himself flying backwards, thinking to himself, swearing to Bruce that he will endure, that he will keep fighting no matter what the cost. Alright gang, so as we pick up with issue number 2, we are picking up with the city letting Batman know that he needs to stop all of this. That Neo-Gotham is the end-all, be-all for this city. That he needs to give up this futile endeavor of trying to save all of these people. Because in the end, Batman will fall. But if Terry is going to fall, he's going down swinging. The only problem, Batman is a creature of the night, living in all of the shadows. Neo-Gotham, this is a place with very little shadows. All of the darkness has been illuminated. It took him a month to recover from his last fall, and he knows that this city is watching him, tracking him, and keeping tabs on every move he makes. For the next 6 weeks, he tries to stick to the shadows, striking only at nighttime, and even then, the sword in the city, they find him. After the last confrontation, he finally starts to understand that this city is tracking him because of his suit. While it may be one of the most advanced pieces of hardware that has ever existed, the problem is this thing puts out so many signals that the living city, it can pick up on all of these. From proximity sensors to IR sensors, this thing has a little bit of everything in it. Downgrading the suit, he is going back to basics, taking out every little microchip, everything that makes this suit so advanced. The truth is, he has to become an insurgent, a ghost in the machine, getting himself an anti-surveillance jacket. This is going to help him because the city isn't going to be able to identify his face. It's going to have problems tracking him at all, and this is exactly what he wants. To go completely unnoticed while he walks through the city, simply observing everything that Neo-Gotham is doing. The city is beginning to instill its own political officials, so on and so forth, making power plays and making chess moves to take absolute control. Terry's only real hope is to expose the machine, expose Neo-Gotham and everything that it is hiding. Only then can he hope that the people will open up their eyes and see what is happening before them. For Terry, all of this starts at Gotham Central Insurance. Because if something were to go wrong with everything that is happening, they're gonna want to get their money out. Going through these records, this is where he learns that somebody is stealing jewels. But these jewels, they aren't making their way onto the streets. Someone is hoarding all of these gems. From bad guys to fences, he finds his way to Robin Hood. As he breaks into Robin Hood's place, we're learning that he's really working on limited resources. Running out of equipment on his utility belt is only a matter of time before he has nothing left in his arsenal, before his suit is the only thing that is remaining from Batman. Asking Robin Hood where these gems are, we see Gestalt. Having no intention of sticking around and facing Batman, we see the three minds, they take off. As Batman heads into the air, what we learn is that the rocket fuel that jettisons him up into the air, it is about empty. This is the last of the rocket fuel given to him from Batman. Another sign that his resources truly are dwindling. Chasing Gestalt through the city, he is led to Joker Town. Definitely not a place that he wants to be. Immediately being attacked by all of these clowns. But Batman has trained him well in how to fight these guys. Because at the end of the day, they have no training, they have no skill, they have no understanding of how to actually fight. Their biggest advantage is that they outnumber you. For Terry, this is no problem. Blasting his way through all of these clowns, kicking some freaking faces in, he makes his way back to Gestalt. As they stand on a rooftop and he is completely out of fuel, he lets it be known that he is not here to bring anybody in. In fact, there is a much bigger threat at play, and he is here for allies. Giving the whole story, letting him know that the city is alive. And not some metaphor kind of way, the city has become sentient. He takes off his mask, even saying his full name. This is how desperate Terry is right now. He needs some kind of help, any kind of help. At this point, he is not sure that he is enough to take down this city. If Bruce Wayne were here, it might be possible, but Terry is full of doubt. And with Gestalt being a genius with the technology, he truly does believe they have the opportunity to beat Neo-Gotham. But Gestalt has no intention of helping him out. More or less telling him that they are gonna live in the shadows, they are gonna hide, let happen what is going to happen. They are gonna sit on the sidelines as this city takes over everything and just hope that it doesn't come after them. And of course, this infuriates Terry. The fact that they aren't going to do anything to help him. They are going to live out their days and they're going to let what happens happen. But what they don't know is that Batman was able to get a hold of those gems, having them in his hand and holding them over the edge, letting it be known that at one time he thought just like them, that it was impossible to face these odds as one person. And the things that he has been through in life, they have cost him everything, letting him know that if you want to continue playing in the blind spots, pretending like Neo-Gotham isn't going to catch up with you, that is perfectly fine. The truth is, you are just afraid to face this city. You are full of cowardice. And so your play to be neutral in all of this, it is nothing more than that. As he drops these diamonds, these gems over the side of the building, the three minds, they hurry off. And down below, at the bottom of this building, this is where we see the Sword of Gotham. Having been tracking Terry, it is very likely we are gonna have a confrontation yet again. Alright gang, so as we dive into issue number 3, we are thrown right into this party. Loomis doing his light show thing like he always does. The guest of honor has arrived, Commissioner Barbara Gordon. Now for Barbara Gordon, she had no intention of having this giant lavish party. Many in Gotham could say that she is the last good cop. She only truly made her appearance because of all the police officers that are under her, simply paying her respects to everybody that has served under her command while she makes her grand entrance. This is where we see Neil, aka Terry, aka Batman, strutting in with a false identity, having a mask on his face that is going to protect him from Neo-Gotham being able to find out where he is. And I think my most favorite thing about this series so far is all the inner monologue going on inside of Terry. How he is having conversations with Batman, with Bruce Wayne. Now at this point, Bruce Wayne, he's gone. He's out of the picture, believed to be killed by Neo-Gotham. Terry is doing everything he can to follow in the footsteps of Bruce. But one thing about Bruce Wayne, when it came to his alter egos, when it came to him being Bruce Wayne, playboy billionaire, that was never who he truly was. This is something that Terry is finally starting to understand. It took him a minute to figure out what all of this meant, what kind of person could disassociate from their own name, because Batman in his own mind would call himself Batman. Batman. He would never call himself Bruce Wayne or Bruce. The truth is, when the entire city is looking for your true identity, identity becomes a profession. It becomes a performance. Right now, the entire city of Gotham, the living city, is looking for both Batman and Terry. That means that tonight, he cannot be either of them. Tonight, he wants to understand what Loomis is up to, the new CEO of Wayne Powers. He wants to understand what he is doing in this city and what his goals are. What are his objectives? Coming in the front door, we have Officer Beam Boonma, and Beam is going to be playing a largely significant part throughout this story. But Officer Beam, she is here specifically because of Commissioner Gordon. Terry, he couldn't even believe that Barbara is actually doing this. He knew 5 months ago that she had intended to do her retirement, to hang up her guns and call it a day. This is a big deal because Terry, he is nowhere near the detective that Bruce Wayne was. He doesn't have the mind that Bruce Wayne did. But if he learned anything, he has learned to listen. And through this listening, he hears talks throughout the entire event. All of the rich, all of the famous, all of the snobby just talking about what they know. Because when you are a billionaire, when you have this kind of money, information is the last true power flex. If you can have information before anybody else, it shows your connections. But while listening to all of these snobby conversations, he does overhear that the mayor has been missing for 32 hours. Nobody is out there looking for him. Nobody is making a big deal about this. At Commissioner Gordon's retirement party, he is nowhere to be seen. And being at this event, it is a little bit hard for Terry, because as they sit here and talk about their wealth, their information, as they drink from champagne glasses that are a month's salary, he knows that he feels so out of place here. And these people, they don't recognize that Neo-Gotham is only making the noose tighter and tighter around their necks. That their illusion of power and everything else, it is all exactly that, an illusion. This is when we get the big speech from Commissioner Gordon. Not to sound like an old woman, but she lets them all know, if you had seen Gotham back in its heyday, back in the days when she was Batgirl, when Bruce Wayne was the most terrifying thing that this city had to offer, she's not really going to give him all of that. She's going to give him the real truth. The truth is, Gotham has always hated them. That's what cities do. They put a whole bunch of people together, people that may not agree, that have different opinions and ideas. And then you have criminals, supervillains. They ignore this system. She spent her younger years trying to fight off all of the corruption inside this city. And for her, this city, it is in fact a living being. It is a person. And with all of her effort, she has always done what she can to make this city well. That this city has a pulse, and you just have to listen to it. With Commissioner Gordon getting off the stand, this is where Loomis comes up and says that he is greatly thankful for the opportunity to be the CEO, to live in a city with distinguished individuals like Barbara Gordon. He believes that he is going to show the city the light. And he is going to start by making it a new obligation for him and the company to be the benefactors behind Neo-Gotham's police department. Starting tomorrow, Wayne Powers will be the money behind the police. Now, of course, Commissioner Gordon, Officer Beam, and Terry, they all cannot believe this. Now, of course, everybody in the crowd, they cheer, they clap, they are happy about this decision. But the three true heroes in the room, they know that a private police force, that is the last thing that this city needs. Commissioner Gordon, after everybody is done on the podium, taking him to the side and asking him, what the heck are you doing? Because what it really looks like is that you are buying the police force. Now, of course, that would be illegal. And he lets the commissioner know, or previous commissioner know, that he knows she has no trust in him. He is not from Gotham. He is Bloodhaven through and through. So he doesn't feel like there is a pulse to this city. He doesn't feel like this city is alive. But now, being CEO of this company, he has one goal in life. to run the most powerful company in the world and live like a king. And while the law, it usually catches up with people like him, he agrees 100%. Commissioner Gordon's law, the Batman's law, once upon a time, but she retired and Batman has been unseen. The truth is, he doesn't care about this city, but he does want it to work, because when it works, it makes the people make money. When the people make money, he makes money. And that he will do anything he can to ensure that this city thrives. Because if this city is thriving, that means he is becoming even more rich. This is where Terry finally gets up the nerve to go have a conversation with Officer Beam. As they have their conversation, they make their introductions. He can't help but think, is this how you felt when you met Jim Gordon, the last good cop in this city? Did you want to rip your mask off and let him know right then and there exactly who you are? Trying to move past all of the small talk, saying that this place has gotten relatively stuffy, why don't we pack up and head out, go get a burger? With her more than willing to do so, they go to an old burger joint that has been around forever. That is Big Belly Burger. Sitting down, having some food, they really just have a discussion about who they are. Officer Beam letting us know exactly where she comes from. The truth is, she is a lifer. She loves this place more than anything, and she wants to fix this city. Her family, they had been run out before, not of Gotham, but of another city. Once they had gotten here, it became more or less a family creed that they would never be run out of another city again. And that has held steady all of these years. And though Terry absolutely hates lying to her, he knows that he has to maintain this identity, bringing up the topic of the mayor, how the mayor has been missing for a couple of days now. Another reason that Terry found her, isolated her for conversation, is because she is on the mayor's detail. And though he tries to say he didn't know any of this information, she believes that he did. Not really sure who he is, not sure if he is IA or working with the people that took the mayor, but she lets him know straight up, taking his head and jamming it right into the table. She caught on to his identity scrambler, the mask on his face, the minute that they saw each other. Terry recognizing he is not nearly the detective that he thought he was, thinking that he was able to keep all of this under wraps, that he was playing it smooth and clean. The truth is, Officer Beam is twice the detective that he is. And she lets him know that if you come near me ever again, you are going to feel it. If you wear that fake face around me ever again, you are going to feel it. What Terry took away from this conversation is that she is, in fact, the last good cop in Gotham. While she may not be a fan of his persona known as Neil, she's probably not gonna like Terry either. But the next time, he is going to show her his true face. The face of Batman. And so following Beam's lead, he heads off to historical Gotham City, the hall and residential complex home to the mayor of Gotham since the earthquake of 1999. If the mayor is going to be anywhere, it more than likely is not going to be here if he is missing. But if there are going to be clues, his apartment is going to be the one place to begin his search. Being able to break into this building, he gets inside. While he makes his way inside, he breaks into the room. Seeing the mayor sitting at his desk, he asks him if he is okay, if he needs any kind of help. But this is when he hears Neo-Gotham. The minute he hears that hit his ears, instinct kicks in. The thing that killed Bruce Wayne, it is directly in front of him. He goes to strike, but the mayor is just a hologram. He has been dead since the day Loomis arrived. Not only that, but this entire room is a hologram. He finds himself in a cage. He walked directly into a trap, and Neo-Gotham lets him know that the city was content with letting him roam the night. Sooner or later, age and death would reach him, but he refuses to learn his place, even after the bomb. believing that direct action is necessary. This room cannot be broken. This is a place that he cannot escape. And standing behind him, we have the Sword of Gotham. This is where the battle begins. Alright gang, so as we dive into issue number 4, we are jumping right into the fray. The Sword of Gotham versus Batman. 1 minute ago, Batman had been standing in the office of the mayor of Neo-Gotham. Now he is facing down the Sword of Gotham. He is starting to learn that this is what being Batman is all about. The world takes its best swings, knocks you in your teeth, changes the flow of gravity, and Batman just stands. As Batman is getting his butt freaking kicked by the Sword of Gotham, he hears the whispers in his ear. The whispers of Bruce Wayne, going back to his training, remembering everything that Bruce Wayne has taught him. This is when the tides, they start to shift a little bit. Terry is able to dodge some of these strikes. He is able to avoid being hit. And when the Sword of Gotham comes to impale him, our Batman, he grabs hold of that sword and he redirects it into the wall behind him. And while the Sword of Gotham, he goes in to make his strikes, Terry is using that sword to cut his way out of this building. That is how powerful the Sword of Gotham's sword is. Cutting through this wall like it is absolute paper, Batman is able to make his escape, swinging from one building to another. He is getting back to the basics. This has been a running theme throughout this entire run, much like Bruce Wayne has been stripped of his fortune in the main Batman run. In Batman Beyond, Terry is stripped of everything, having no resources, having no avenue to get more resources. He is making work everything that he currently has on him. With Terry believing that he has made his getaway, we see the Sword of Gotham come flying through the air, and he knocks Batman for a freaking loop. Taking a deep breath, with his suit severely damaged, he can see death coming directly for him, but he stays standing, redirecting every ounce of power in this suit to the legs. He tries to fight as smart as he possibly can, but even then, it is not enough against the Sword of Gotham. As they go falling out of the sky, the Sword of Gotham lands directly on the back of Batman, letting him know that this city has made its judgment, thanking him for his service and relieving him of his duty. We see the Sword of Gotham. He takes his sword and he drives it into the chest of Batman. As the suit dies, he slowly starts to feel the life coming out of himself. But this is not the end of Batman grabbing a batarang and throwing it directly at the sword. The Sword of Gotham catches this, not recognizing that this is also an explosive. With the detonation, we see the Sword of Gotham fall down to the ground. As the mask comes off of his face, as this hologram surrounding the body disappears, we see that this is nothing more than a regular old man. An old man hiding behind a hologram. A man that is barely left alive after a single kinetic batarang. After doing some research on who this man is, we quickly learned that he was nothing more than a janitor. He was no mercenary, he was no military record guy. He was just a regular, average, everyday Joe. So the question is, why him? Carrying this man to the hospital so he can get some care. This poor man, he had been hijacked by the city to be used as the sword. This is when he recognizes he's going to need some help. That's what takes him over to Officer Beam. Knocking on the door, she looks through the peephole, recognizing this to be Batman. She asks if she is in any kind of danger, but he lets it be known that everybody is in danger. And at first, our officer, she is very standoffish. Right now, there is an arrest on-site warrant for Batman, but he wastes no time getting directly to the point, letting her know that there is a rogue AI that has dominated the entirety of Gotham's network, infrastructure, banking, communication, everything, and it is using some kind of hard light holographic technology. It made a 75-year-old man Batman into a trained killer. It is responsible for the tower collapse, and it also killed Bruce Wayne, letting her know that it is taking everything for him to stay alive. The only problem is, if he goes down, so does the case. That is why he is here. He believes that the odds are stacked this much against him that he would come to Officer Beam for some kind of help. And that is when they hear a whisper. And the voice is saying to Officer Beam that it found him. And this is where we see the officer transformed. She turns in to the Sword of Gotham. And then the fight breaks out. Officer Beam, she was never a dirty cop. She was never involved in everything else that all the others were. She was one of the last good ones in Neo-Gotham, which means if she can be taken over, that means anybody can be taken over. It also means that everyone in Gotham, they are all a threat, as Batman does everything he can just to stay on his feet. He has already taken one heck of a beating tonight. Taking this second beating is taking everything that he has. Finding one solid weak spot, he is only able to exploit it for a moment. That is before he gets knocked down the hallway. The Sword of Gotham has his number every step of the way. Taking this opportunity as he runs away, he takes that taser gun and he wraps it around his wrist, knowing that he cannot do any serious damage to the Sword of Gotham with it currently possessing Officer Beam. What he needs to do is save his friend. Coming in with a Superman punch, we see the Sword of Gotham electrified, flying out of one of these windows and headed directly down to the ground. We see Batman jump into action, using his body to cushion her body from the fall. The two of them land. Her vitals, she is still kicking. Batman barely able to stand up himself, not able to take her to a hospital, needing to find somewhere to patch her up. Somewhere that is off-grid. Somewhere Neo-Gotham will never be able to see them. That somewhere is the old Wayne Manor. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up at the Batcave. We have the three individuals known as Gestalt. The cave has been abandoned. The crypt forgotten. This is a hiding place that is very much secure. When they get motion from above, they go to investigate, and that is where they find him. And Batman lets them know before you move, before you react, this is not about him and them. It is all about her. Saying all the electronics in his suit are off. That Neo-Gotham has no idea he is here. They are a little hesitant at first. She is a cop and they are criminals. But the word criminal, it really doesn't mean what it used to mean. Not when a living city like Neo-Gotham is out there controlling everything. They do say that they are going to help Batman out. They are going to assist him under one condition, that Gotham must be stopped. Agreeing to these terms, he lets them know everything that has happened, how Officer Beam became the Sword of Gotham, and so they search, and what they find is a kind of infection, what they call nanopistons puppeteering her body. These are buried deep inside of her pores, changing her into him. This is when Terry begins to figure out that Loomis's light show has just been a mirage. This is the secret. Technology that won't just make him rich, it will make him unstoppable. It connects the brain, body, and skin. Controlling all three means anyone could become a monster. And though he wishes this was the worst part, when they draw a blood sample from Terry, what they find that this is in his blood as well. These nanopistons are lying dormant inside of his blood. The most probable answer is that all of Gotham has this inside of them, that somehow they got this into the water system. And if it is inside the water system, it's not just the Sword of Gotham can be anyone. It means anybody can be the Sword. But they are currently safe down here in the Batcave, as long as they don't leave, as long as they don't go anywhere. Not sure how long it's going to take to really cure the officer. They are going to continue to do the best of their work. And that is when Terry really begins to reflect what is going on. This city has become his enemy. The only home in the entire world that he has ever ever had. To him, this is his world. He knows its corners like anybody else. But not having a counter to Gotham's infection, anyone in this city could be a threat. Someone that he is supposed to be saving. They could very easily turn on him on a dime. But for the time being, Terry has to let the city be. He has to remain in hiding. And so with him descending down into the pit, we are shown Neo-Gotham tonight, having a talk show with Loomis on there. They had asked about Batman, about where he is and where they think he might be. But Loomis, he doesn't care, saying that he deserves a vacation, considering he's probably like 100 years old. He says the discussion should be fully about him. What he has planned, he says, is going to change Gotham forever, being very loose with what he is going to do, not giving away any details. He says that they're not going to celebrate in Neo-Gotham, but they are going to celebrate above it. That is where we pick up with Terry. It has been 100 days that he has been down here in the pit, since he spoke to another person that wasn't actually 3. No pressure to patrol, no one to save except for her. The voice of Bruce inside of his head, pushing him to be better, to make all of this matter. This is when they let him know that she is ready. They are ready to see if she is going to live through this process or not. It may kill her, it may kill all of them, but one way or another, this all ends right now. Putting on his mask to cover his secret identity, we see her come out of this, and she is alive. She has been purged of the sword of Gotham, and now she wants some answers. Picking up a little bit later, the two of them sharing a bottle of wine, we get on the topic of Bruce Wayne. While they don't say his name explicitly, Terry is talking about how he was almost a father figure to him. He's not his biological father, but he taught him everything that he knows. He taught him how to be Batman, how to be that symbol. And Bruce Wayne truly believed that Terry could be Batman, that when Bruce Wayne was gone, he could live up to the mantle. And while Terry for a long time has believed that Batman was the darkness, that Batman has to be the solution to all the big scary stuff, but more than anything, he is the symbol in the sky, the one that reminds everybody that they don't have to stop fighting. And so if he is set on making sure that Batman doesn't die in this cave, maybe that's all he has to be. This is when Terry stands up, he takes off his mask, and he throws it. This is kind of his acceptance that he is gone, introducing himself to the Officer Beam as Terry, saying it is finally nice to meet you. And while Neo-Gotham is preparing their countdown, 10 million people, all of them having their eyes up in the sky. A living Gotham in every city, a city of Neo-Gothams. It is all coming. They are on the brink of an entirely new world, with Terry having a new suit ready to go. It is time to leave the darkness, to leave the cave, and have the final confrontation with Neo-Gotham. Alright gang, so this story is starting us off with Terry going to Barbara Gordon, just recently retiring from the police force. He fills her in on the entire story, that when the clock hits midnight, free will dies. But Barbara had said it herself that this city, it has a pulse. Batman needs someone who doesn't run away when they hear it. He needs somebody that will run into the fray. And while this artificial city may be able to kill Batman, it cannot kill everybody. Not if they stand together. Barbara recognizing that Bruce was probably right about Terry being the successor. That is what takes us to 15 minutes to midnight. As Loomis and all the others, they celebrate. They get ready for the big grand finale. In just a few moments, Wayne Powers will activate their citywide holographic hub. This is supposed to be a beacon of hope high above Neo-Gotham. But as it rises above the city, we see it go dark. That is where we have the arrival of Batman. Coming in, the artificial intelligence has found him, the thief of light, fear in reforged armor. As Batman gets ready to do this fight, we see that the city of Gotham is taking anybody and everybody, transforming them into its weapon, sending all of them after Batman, with Officer Booma and Barbara Gordon helping him out. Loomis trying to make his escape, they catch him off guard. But Batman is just a distraction. In the Batcave, they are working with great effort to bring down Gotham's firewall, with Batman being able to break the grasp that Gotham has over all the civilians, the ones that are attacking him. He picks them up and he starts moving civilians out as quickly as possible. Loomis somehow being able to make a slip away in all the chaos. Batman is not letting him get away. As the two of them start to converse, Batman is learning that Loomis has no idea. He has no idea that everything had been hijacked by an artificial intelligence. That every move Loomis has made has all been at the command of this intelligence. With Batman getting the alert that Gotham is accelerating the timeline. It is no longer waiting until midnight. The nanites, they are being activated, with Terry exposing himself to Loomis, showing his face. He lets it be known that you are failing the city, that you are so blinded by your own future. A man who is always looking forward, but never having his feet on the ground. Now that Loomis is fully informed on the situation, he is opting in to the living Gotham. As the living Gotham begins to take over his body, we see him take on the ultimate form of Gotham. Feeling this new power, having these new abilities, he wastes no time going in on Batman. The two of them, they start fighting, but Batman has a trick up his sleeve. Using the Joker gang, telling them everything that has been going on and bringing them into the fold. They are here to lay down some hate. With the rockets exploding, we see Loomis is falling down to his death. No longer one with the living Gotham, Batman is there to save the day, grabbing hold of him and saving him just in the nick of time. The firewalls of the living Gotham have been broken, and for today, this city has been saved. It only took Detective Beam 3 days to solve the murder of the mayor. They had a special election. Barbara Gordon, out of retirement, now working in the Batcave to try and clean up Gotham. And when it comes to Terry, he can only hope that he has made Bruce proud. As he grabs a drink with Beam, the two of them talking about the future, talking about what comes next. He thanks her. He thanks her for everything that she has done, for all the help that she has given him. The two of them finding themselves getting really close, holding hands, just enjoying what Gotham is. That will be the end of this story, at least for now. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Batman Beyond will be returning sometime in 2023. For me, this was very much enjoyable. Seeing Terry take on the mantle of Batman after Gotham itself had killed Batman. Outnumbered, not able to use technology. The city having eyes literally everywhere. He had to recruit a team of individuals, unlikely allies, bringing them all together because it took all of Gotham to be able to fight against the living Gotham. Terry yet again proving himself to be one of the true successors to Bruce Wayne, proving himself to be the future of Gotham, the future of the Dark Knight. But this is just the beginning of his story. The Knight is still young, and Gotham, it has many shadows. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything that went on with this series, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything that happened with this mini-series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership, much like Patreon having 5 different tiers. From $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to getting free comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.